Hello everyone. Well, I finally got out on my bike and I'm at the old Wetherby railway station. Buildings I think were over here, and it's one of Beeching's cuts, of course. Nasty Dr. Beeching, famous for decimating our railways. I mean, this would have been a fantastic commuter line these days for people in Wetherby to get into Leeds and go to York and all sorts of places, because that was the old line there, up there, and it's on a junction too, which leads off down there, which we'll be heading on, and we'll pick up the railway path later. But first of all, we'll go on a little bit of it and you can see where the junction is. And today I've got my Garmin, which I haven't had on a ride for a long time, because you can become obsessed with looking at it and working out the heart pulse rate and everything else. I'm also testing out whether I put on my summer tyres correctly or not. Fingers crossed I did. We've had a lot of rain recently and this bit here is always very dank. Even on a sunny day it's dank and shaded. So we go on the railway path for a little bit, and then we turn off onto the main road for a little bit. Ooh, look at this, it's horrible. And then we come back on the Wetherby rail path. So this would have been the junction. We go up there, because if you go up there, you don't actually end up back where you think you're going to end up. You end up going through a housing estate, so it's better to go this way. Let's hope it doesn't rain today. I haven't been able to get out because the weather's been so awful. And if you've been following my videos and my shorter videos, you'll know I've been battling with care homes and my mum with her dementia, and she's been in hospital and stuff. So now I'm hoping that, all being well, I should get a proper bike ride in. But I'm starting with this quite easygoing ride. Should take a couple of hours, and it's not flat, but it's pretty easygoing. It's one I do regularly, and I've definitely done another video of it before, but back in the days when I didn't used to talk all the way through videos, which may be a benefit or it may not, depending on how you look at it. Thank you. Got a lot of dog walkers on here, and generally they're really good. They hold on to their dog when you cycle past. Another lovely bridge. Morning. Still very wet, very damp. The direction I'm heading in, you can cycle on the old railway track all the way to Spofford, which has a ruined castle. Well, it's not really a castle, it's called a castle, it's more like a ruined stately home. It would have formed a line to Harrogate. But we're turning right here. It's like a triangle of railway lines here, junction. This is where we turn right, and we're heading on the section that goes towards Thorpe Arch, where we will visit later. I think it then went on to, oh, I'm not sure, York, I don't know, I'll check it and let you know. Thank you. Hello. Thank you. See, the dog walkers are really, really good around here. Not like the dog that chased me up on Dartmoor, that came hurtling out of a farm entrance and barking, hurtled down the road after me and sunk its teeth into my shin and wouldn't let go. That was really scary, having a dog with it attached to your shin. It shook me up quite a bit. I went back to the farm and complained and got the woman at the farm to dress the wound. I was really livid. I also told the police, and they actually went round, believe it or not, to warn the farm owner that he should keep his dogs on leashes or secure in some way. I remember the woman who owned the dog, no, it was the little boy, her boy said to me, "Oh, our dog hates cyclists, and that's why he did it." And it was on a cycle route as well, a national cycle route. Anyway, so I'm a bit worried when I see dogs nowadays. Well, it's so muddy and slippery here. I'm going really easily. I wish I'd maybe hadn't changed from the winter tyres, which had a bit of tread on, because these don't really have any tread. And last summer I skidded on some wet sand with these tyres on when I was down in Devon, in South Devon. I was okay, just badly bruised and cut, but my bike needed a bit of fixing afterwards, so I had to spend the rest of my holiday walking rather than cycling, which wasn't a big deal. Could have been worse, could have been a lot worse. So I'm a bit wary of wet sand. Anyway, we go downhill now where we join the main road. I think back in the day there would have been a bridge. The railway would have gone over the road in a bridge. I'll get off soon and check the traffic. Ooh. Right. Right, back on the bike. We're heading towards North Dayton now. This is Wetherby, of course, I've said that already, which was famous for its races It used to have extra large footbridges at the railway station to accommodate all the people coming to the Wetherby races. This is the busiest section really. After this it gets a lot easier. Just down there on the right is the Julian Norton from the Yorkshire vet, his veterinary, if I get that right, surgery. Sandbeck. We'll be turning off soon. Right, we're into North Yorkshire because Wetherby is in West Yorkshire. Kirk Dayton. I think we also go through North Dayton. I might be wrong, but anyway, I should know really, shouldn't I? Done this ride often enough. Little bit of a hill, a little climb up to the church here, nothing too steep. of a poor road surface here. Lots of potholes. This is the top of the climb at the church. I'm doing a shorter version of the ride than the one in my previous videos because it's the first time I've been out on my bike for about 10 days, and because I'm hoping that the weather's going to pick up, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do another ride tomorrow and then at the weekend. All being well with the weather and any emergencies, God forbid, with my mum. As I said on my quick video, Mum has dementia. She was in a care home where she wasn't settling, and so we being my sister and me, frantically searched around for another care home. We found a lovely care home. Thankfully, it was the last care home we went to, and we've been through virtually every care home, including care homes in Wetherby and Harrogate. Like all these places, it's eye-wateringly expensive, so thankfully we can pay for at least 1.5 years with the proceeds from the sale of Mum's flat. Which I'll be putting on the market probably on Friday this week. It's sad that it eats up all the savings or whatever from people to pay for care home costs. I was really hoping we'd be able to help my son get on the property ladder, but I don't think it's going to happen now. It's North Dayton. We just go through here. Hi there. I was thinking, back in 2018 when I bought this bike, new, it cost me £1,500, and Mum's care home costs more than that per week. It's eye-watering. Anyway, it's just one of those things, isn't it? It has to be done, there's no alternative. There's no alternative if we want Mum to have expert care from trained professionals, which is why I guess you pay so much for these places, because I know neither of us could care for Mum properly, and it would drive us absolutely insane, which sounds cruel and selfish, but the nature of dementia. I mean, I was shortly after, a couple of days after Mum moved into, or we moved Mum into the new care home last Tuesday, she ended up being rushed to hospital in an ambulance. Something wrong with her heart, and also chest infection and a temperature. And I spent nearly a full day with her in a cubicle in A&E at the local hospital while we waited for a bed for Mum. And just that was exhausting, because Mum just asks the same questions over and over again. But hey, you don't want to hear all about my Mum, do you? Let's stop. We're turning right here. I don't want you to stop watching these videos just because I ramble on about my problems. That would be awful. So here we're going to Cowthorpe. Now Thorpe, like the suffix by, as in Wetherby, are both northern, but you find them in the north, northern words, northern phrases, suffixes, whatever. You don't really find them elsewhere, apart from, as I pointed out last week to my husband, Tenby in Wales, but I think that derives from a Welsh name. Hi. Now this history, this ride features items of historical interest, or places of historical interest, of two wars that our country was involved in. The first would be the English Civil War in the 1640s, Cavaliers and Roundheads, Oliver Cromwell and the King Charles I. And the second war was, of course, the Second World War, and it features on this ride. Both of them feature on this ride. Now we are heading to the village of Tockwith, where I had my first experience of learning to drive a car. I used to be able to drive around the old airfield. I failed miserably at that, I hated it. It used to supposedly simulate junctions and this, that and the other. Don't know if it does that now. I know you can learn to drive a lorry there now. The old airfield was not called RAF Tockwith, as you would think it would be because it's at Tockwith. The reason being that there was an RAF top cliff just up the road, up the A1 I think, and to avoid confusion they named it RAF Marston Moor, because Marston Moor, as in the Battle of Marston Moor, is just down the road, and we shall pass the memorial to that, and we'll also pass a memorial in Tockwith to the crew and civilians that were killed when an RAF bomber crashed in, I think it was 1945. I don't know why it crashed, I don't know, obviously it was supposed to land at RAF Marston Moor, but didn't. More about that later. Just got a couple of major roads to cross here on bridges. The first is the old A1, which is now the A168. And the second is the actual A1M. Tockwith is 4 miles. My son did his teacher training at Tockwith Primary School. Well, some of it, some of the teacher training, before he decided he was going to major in psychology instead. Crossing the old A1. Which back in the day would have gone right through the middle of Wetherby. Ooh, a bit of a wind today. It's a bit cloudy. I understand the sun's going to come out now and again. We're going to climb up to the bridge across the A1M motorway now. Here we go. Back to that bomber crash in Tockwith. Apparently it crashed in the middle of the main road, right in the main road of Tockwith village, the high street. And not only did it kill everyone on board, but it killed the village postmaster, and I assume it injured some people. I'll have to check on that, but it did demolish a number of houses. So I didn't know this before I researched it last night, and that's one of the good things about recording these bike ride videos again, is that I learn interesting facts about places that I've cycled through many a times, but never, well, just knew the basics that everyone knows around here. I did know about Marston Moor, so I used to be into Civil War history when I was younger. English Civil War, well, also Scottish and Welsh and Irish, but it's known as the English Civil War for some reason. So Wetherby, Tockwith and other places around here billeted Cromwell's army before the Battle of Marston Moor. So the army would have been scattered around here. This is Cowthorpe. Hello. Last summer I tried a shortcut from here along a bridle way. It was a bit of a mistake, so I ended up in the middle of an enormous field where it's impossible to cycle, so probably won't do that again. Even if I had a mountain bike, I think it would have been difficult. It's where that white car's coming out of, that's where you turn off to go on the shortcut, which is nice for the first few, for about the first mile, and then it ends up in a field, Warfield Lane. Yeah, the Battle of Marston Moor, or yeah, it would be the Battle of Marston Moor, not the Second World War. There's a little climb here, and I always stop for a drink at the top of it. I love those old phone boxes that are turned into libraries. Apologies if this ride is bumpy. The road surfaces aren't brilliant, but also I've pumped these summer tyres right up. They're Continental Gator hard shells, which are supposed to withstand punctures, fingers crossed, with inner tubes, not tubeless. Right, we're heading to Tockwith now. Tockwith is one of the rare places in this neck of the woods that has a thatched roof on a cottage. Hello. I think they use a different reed here because they never look like the thatched cottages in the West Country. We also visit somewhere else on this ride that has a history based in World War II, and I'll come to that later. The apples are starting to grow on the trees in the orchard, and we haven't really had summer yet. I hope it's not going to be one of those years. Oh, there's poppies in that field. I think the old airfield's over there somewhere on the right. we're going straight on, but if you turn left here you can eventually get to Great Ousburn, which is where I started one of my other cycle rides from in this series, and Borough Bridge. There's another ride I want to do at Borough Bridge. Now I know a bit more information about its history, so I may do that this weekend. There's another ride I want to do in South Yorkshire as well. I'm trying to do a different ride every time, though sometimes it may incorporate sections from other rides. Yeah, sorry if it's bumpy. These tyres, when they're pumped right up, are a bit unforgiving. So in Tockwith, I'm on the lookout for where the houses could have been demolished, or where the plane landed, and I know there is a memorial in the shape of a plane made out of metal, which we will look at. And Tockwith is one of these places in the 21st century where new houses are being built, expanding the village's boundary, and no doubt putting more pressure on local services. I mean, good for local businesses, not so good for schools, etc. And as my dad would always point out, it means more sewage being created for the sewers to cope with. My dad was in charge of, he headed up Leeds main drainage back in the day. Leading expert in the area on sewers. You really wanted to know that, didn't you? Bumpy, terrible road. Oh. Oh. So we've got the church on the right. And I found some old photos online showing the crash and the houses were demolished or hit by the plane. See if I can work out where that was. Look, here's that thatched cottage on the right. I wonder if it was here, because it was the postmaster that was killed. It's alright, thank you. This is the memorial. Let's go and have a look at it. See, these are newer houses. Maybe it was here on the left. What an amazing sculpture that is. Can you see? Look at it. Stirling bomber in the early hours of the 9th of October 1945, whilst approaching to land at RAF Marston Moor. And yeah, the postmaster and then all the others on board. Yeah, so very sad. Yeah. So it possibly could have been here. A battle where Prince Rupert, the King's nephew, was absolutely routed. He was hammered. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I used to have a thing about the Cavaliers and Prince Rupert, only because I thought they were more handsome, they had long hair, and I was into heavy metal music. And boys with long hair. So it wasn't the politics or anything. Completely the wrong reason. I think nowadays I'd probably have supported Cromwell, well, the Roundheads. very bumpy again, I apologise. Oh, the surface is awful. So the fields around here are called Marston Moor, even though it's not really what you would think of as a moor, because it's flat, not like Ilkley Moor. And the memorial is just coming into view. I've got a biography, which I haven't read yet, about Prince Rupert, written by Charles Spencer, Princess Diana's brother. He is a good historian and he writes well. Oh, this is so bumpy. This is the memorial coming up. He also wrote about the regicides who signed Charles I's death warrant, and about Charles II's escape to France from the Battle of Worcester, when after he became king on the death of his father, who was beheaded outside the banqueting hall at Whitehall. Battle of Marston Moor, 2nd of July 1644. Near this site the Parliamentary army, left to the leadership of Oliver Cromwell, supported by David Leslie, completed the defeat of the forces of Prince Rupert. Here in his native county, Sir Thomas Fairfax, the famous Yorkshire soldier, fought for Parliament with brilliance and success. Lord General of the Parliamentary Army, 1645 to 50. Let's go round the other side. Property of the Cromwell Association. Oh, so I'm not going to say anything nice about the Cavaliers, are they? Unveiled on the 1st of July 1939 and restored 1973. And here we have all the stuff about it. It's a poem written about the monument. It was an evening battle. Yeah, we've got Tockwith up there, we've got Long Marston village down there, which we'll go through after here. So, a lot of death, a lot of nastiness went on here. We are now heading towards the village of Long Marston. Here we are, Long Marston. I'll have to read up more on the Battle of Marston Moor to find out why the battle was held here and which direction the Royalists were coming in and where they were billeted out. Oh, it's so bumpy. Terrible state of British roads. Right, here we cross the B road. Which is more of a tiny village, hamlet. The name of this road always makes me laugh, Butt Hedge. But according to my mother, before she got dementia, the butt is something to do with archery, not to do with your buttocks. My mum used to know everything. I don't think there was anything she didn't know. You could ask her about anything. Well, not scientific really, but history, things like that, and she would know, and about places, villages, stuff like that. And French, because she was a trained French teacher. Here's the little hamlet of Hutton Wansley. I think it's pronounced like that. We've done 11.5 miles, my Garmin bike computer is telling me. My heart is beating at 127 beats per minute. We're at a very low elevation of 63 feet. And I'm cycling at 12 miles an hour. And I've been going for 1 hour. There you go. But you can become obsessed with what the Garmin's saying, which is why I didn't use it last year. I'm using it today because my bike coach sent me a program which he wants me to do if I can, in between all the anything that might happen with my mum, when I can, because exercise is good and getting out is good. Oh, look at these, bumpy. He wanted me to do a 2-hour ride gently undulating, which this ride is really the shortened version of it. We're not too far from York here, from South York. We don't cycle as far as Askham Richard, where the women's prison is, because we're doing the shorter version of this regular ride. Because the instructions are just do 2 hours, my bike coach says. So it means I can pace myself over a few days rather than going hell for leather one day and then being knackered. There are alternatives for indoor cycling if the weather's rubbish, but I avoid that if I can because it's so boring. Indoor cycling, I mean, not his programs are really good because there's variation and they're always different, so they do keep you motivated, as motivated as you can be on an indoor exercise bike, and also you get the most out of it. And that's when I make good use of the Garmin bike computer, because his programs, he tells you how many beats per minute you should be doing or aiming for on your heart rate. Now, talking about bike computers and heart rates, I used to wear a heart rate monitor strap around my chest, which, I mean, it works well, and it's one reason why I stopped making my bike videos, because there was a bit too much going on. There was the harness for the GoPro camera and also the heart rate monitor strap all in the same place. But I came out in an allergic reaction to the monitor, came out in a horrible rash, and so I found, I think it was on Amazon, I found a heart rate monitor that you wear on your arm, and to be honest, it's as good as the chest strap. It's also 100% rechargeable, whereas the chest strap, used little round flat batteries, which are not very environmentally friendly and also can work out quite expensive. Oh look, we've got a bit of nice road surface here. I think we're coming up to the little hamlet of Angram. So I don't really know much about these places, apart from the fact they all date back many thousands of years. To Viking and Saxon days. And often the name can derive from a name dating back to then. Oh, this is such a nice road surface, it is smooth. Oh, enjoy it while I can. To do the short version of this regular ride, I will turn right down a lane when the women's prison at Askham Richard comes into view. Now this is where we turn right, because you may not be able to see it, but straight ahead you can see the tower of the women's prison, and so that means we turn right, so right here down this little lane which cuts off a corner. And then we'll be heading to the village of, I think it's pronounced Healaugh. Anyway, we'll be heading towards there, and it is close to the Roman town of Tadcaster. We don't go into Tadcaster on this ride. It does have a very interesting historic building. If you have a mountain bike, I would suggest that you can cycle past. I might risk going down there on another ride because it's a very rough track, and it takes you to Healaugh or Healaugh Priory, which is an ancient medieval Tudor building, but it's a horrible track for cycling on, the first half anyway, and then it gets better the second half, which is probably how they get access to the Priory, which is now a home or a hotel or something, I'm not sure which. And then you can cycle down to Tadcaster. Hello. This is where we turn right. Healaugh. I don't know how it's pronounced. And Wig Hill, which is pronounced like it's written. You can turn left here and cycle down a very pretty lane that takes you around in a kind of semicircle back to Healaugh. But remember, we're doing the short version of this ride. Healaugh has a very old church as well, which I've never been to. Maybe we'll go and explore it today. maybe. Swallowed a fly. I think I spat it out in time. Sometimes when you do that, sometimes when you do that, it gets beyond the point of no return at the back of your throat, and you've no option but to swallow it. So I am the old woman who nearly swallowed a fly. I wonder why she nearly swallowed a fly, and the reason is because she keeps talking on her cycle rides. They say that people swallow spiders in their sleep, don't they, as well? I wouldn't like to think I did, but they do say that. Oh, a bit of undulation here, a bit of a climb, mini climb, climb-ette. I planned to do 66 rides in my 66th year, but it's not going to happen, really. But I'll do as many as I can. It's not going to happen because of the weather and emergencies with my mum. But never mind, you can always do 67 rides next year. But I really wanted to do them this year because this year is the year I get my old age pension and become an official OAP, shuffling around on my stick, or more like shuffling along on my bike. Coming into Healaugh, or Healaugh, whatever it's called, pronounced. Quite a nice little village, this, all brick, because it's so flat around here, near York, south of York. If you do that cut off that I mentioned, not cut off but extra bit back there, you come out here. Quite a spacious village this, the houses built well back from the road. Peaceful. The war memorial and the church ahead. I bet that's the old vicarage there. Just guessing. Or it might be that. Have a little stop. St. John the Baptist Church. Wow, it's a grand building there. Maybe that was the vicarage. The row is enormous because of the number of children they used to have back in the day, and all the servants. That one's got stables, it's got a clock on the stable. I've never been up here anyway, so let's see what's up here. So I've seen this church before. It looks like it's got a Norman entrance. It's got a funny little roof on the tower. Let's go and take a look. Looks like they've removed a lot of the gravestones, because surely they would have come right down here. One reason they built the big municipal cemeteries in the 19th century, because of course there was population expansion and there was more people living in the towns and cities with the Industrial Revolution, and the churchyards simply couldn't cope. Because in some cases it had got to the stage where so many people were buried on top of each other that there was quite a hill surrounding the churches, full of coffins. I mentioned I was going to do some volunteering at the great Victorian Municipal Cemetery of Undercliff in Bradford, and I went to see them, which was really good, but then all the stuff about my mum kicked off, and so it's not happened, not yet anyway. It looks like the arch is being held up so it doesn't fall down. It's got a coat of arms. Can you see? Oh, this is really interesting. Can you see all the figures around the arch? And then you get all those heads up there. Can you see those? Ooh. They're quite worn now, but I bet when they were carved it was quite amazing. Gosh. Very old door. What are they? Are they birds? Beaks? They're all the same all the way around. It must signify something. Can you see them? All the way around. I need to look this up, don't I? It's amazing. I don't expect you can use that door to get in. No, it must be another entrance, which I'm guessing is maybe over here? Question mark. Maybe. I don't know how you get in, never mind. So we're on a little hillock here, and you've got Tadcaster is over there, York is over there, and Wetherby is over here, where we're going back to. It's very peaceful here. So now we're going to continue and we're heading to Wig Hill, and after that we're heading to the Thorpe Arch Trading Estate, or Commercial Estate, whatever, which doesn't sound very exciting, but it is scene of a World War II munitions factory or storage. It was run by the Royal Ordnance Munitions and was well away from an area that could have been bombed, and it was cunningly disguised by building much of it underground, and you can still see evidence of that. Until recently there was a shopping retail park there, which is all closed now because no one ever went really, and a lot of the shops are underground. Well, a bit like that service station on the M5, Gloucester Services, which obviously was built recently, but I'll show you what I mean when we get there. Camera right. You can see the little church up on the hill there. The Thorpe Arch estate is also where you can get back onto the railway path back into Wetherby. It's also home to the British Library, the second building, the building outside London, first being near St Pancras in London. I used to work next door to the British Library in London on the Euston Road, and I lived in London for a number of years and worked in an advertising agency on Euston Road. I forgot to point out the track going down to Healaugh Priory, but never mind. Oh look, is it a little rabbit, big rabbit, a hare? Is it a hare or is it a rabbit? My mum said before she was ill, she used to talk about how in the war they had to eat an awful lot of rabbit because other meat was in short supply, and she said she could never have rabbit again after the war. She had so much of it. Hi there. This is Wig Hill. Just past the church, which is on our left in the moment, we turn right towards Thorpe Arch. If you go straight ahead here, you end up in Tadcaster. That's the church. And we go right. We're nearly at the retail, well, it's not a retail park now, is it? The industrial estate of Thorpe Arch. Another reason Thorpe Arch was chosen in the war for the munitions was not only because it was away from anywhere that might obviously be a target for German bombers, but it was on a railway line into Wetherby and beyond, and we will cycle along that line. Can be a bit busy, this road, as people head to Wetherby or to the industrial estate, and there are some speed cameras further on, which is good. It's a horrible smell. Something horrible being put on the fields, I imagine. Go straight on and pick up the railway path a bit further on, but at Thorpe Arch village, but it's not a very nice road. think you can see the British Library building ahead. I don't know if you can see it on this fisheye camera view. There is another very short cycle path, off-road cycle path a bit further on, where someone cut the hawthorn hedges in autumn the other year and left all the remains on the cycle path, and I got a double puncture front and back. And not only that, but it started to really hammer it down with rain. Luckily, a local plasterer from Wetherby was passing and they gave me a lift back to my car in Wetherby. I mean, I would never accept lifts from strangers, but I had no choice, and he was in a genuine van with his name on. So here we are, we turn into this rather anonymous estate with imaginative names for the streets. Avenue C always makes me think of that Suzanne Vega song, Avenue L, where the Portuguese women come and see what you sell. It's very flat and very easy cycling though, I must admit. And soon we'll see evidence of the wartime buildings. We go ahead, straight ahead here. It's a bit confusing. You can get lost here if you don't know the way. It's on its strange grid pattern. Looks like it's all been newly surfaced, and I ought to go back and do the roads I've been cycling on. You can see evidence of the wartime underground, either factories or storage. Over there, for example, and ahead, that hillock will be the roof. Now, I think the railway ran over there and down to Boston Spa. We turn left here. But you can see there, can't you? Look. Part of the wartime stuff. There do seem to be some things going on at the retail park. I'll have a look, because it was closed for a long time. Maybe it's reopening. Very unusual retail park. Let's go and take a look. don't know, places look like they're closed, but you see how they're all underground, so part of the old munitions. And yeah, it looks like there's something open over there, a cafe. Seems to be the only thing that's open. And there's a car boot sale here. Ideal for a car boot sale. Now at the end here we'll get onto the old rail path, or at least the track that leads up to the rail path. And you can go left down across the river on the old rail path, but it kind of takes you to a main road and then dumps you there. You've got to get onto the main road into Boston Spa. So I guess if everything was underground here in the war, from the air it would probably just look like fields maybe. I'll have to find a photo from the air maybe of the back in the day. So we go off-road just here past that grey car, and we wiggle along on a path until we reach the old railway line. So if you go left, you can go down through a housing estate, down across the river and to the main road. This section can be a bit bumpy because there's a lot of tree roots under the tarmac. See what I mean? It is good though, because you can cycle off-road all the way into Wetherby. So, oh god, these tree roots. If you work at the estate. Hello little dog. It's quite handy. Tree roots. don't think I'd want to cycle along here at night though. Well, I definitely wouldn't. I don't really do night cycling anyway. Thank you. Hello, little dog. Tree roots. We cross this road and pick up the track over there, but I think I'll change my battery here. Right, we cross the road here. And just down there, if you cycle along this road from Boston Spa, you pass on that side the old, I think is it the Thorpe Arch railway station or the Boston Spa one? I don't know which, but you pass the old railway station building. This path takes us onto the line, or the track bed, should I say. Soon you'll be able to see how it joins. The track comes along there, and we join it just up here. A little dog. Hello. This is where we join the old line. I think that man's trying to get rid of some of this Himalayan balsam. It's just all along here every year. This beautiful rail bridge. This Himalayan balsam all the way. In our family we call it evil plant because it takes over places and it smells really sickly when the pink flowers come out later in the summer. It is one of the top invasive species, like Japanese knotwood and bamboo as well now. non-native species, should I say. Oh, the flowers are starting to come out there. I hate it. It's everywhere. There's a walk we did along the River Ouse, which should have been very scenic, New York, but it wasn't, because the path went through something like 10 foot or 12 foot high Himalayan balsam, and all you could see was a forest of Himalayan balsam. Another beautiful bridge. Beautifully constructed. Soon we arrive at the main road again, joining the road that we were cycling along before we turned off into Thorpe Arch Estate. We cross that road and then head off down the rail path into Wetherby. And a couple of years ago, the next section of the rail path was resurfaced because it was in a terrible state of repair, and it's quite good now. Whereas if you cycle up to Spofford from the old Wetherby station car park, it is unsurfaced for about, I would say, about 3/4 of it. And that bit is very popular, so I can't see why they resurfaced this and didn't do that one. See, it's more popular than this one. Like the railway would have gone across there, past those buildings. We cross the road, and this along there is the scene of where I got the double puncture, because all these hawthorn bushes, which were just cut and strewn all over the cycle path. Right, this is where we head back onto the rail path. And it moves away from the main road and eventually past the Wetherby race course and then under the A1 and into Wetherby. It is a nice path. This is nice and smooth. My Garmin is telling me we've been moving for about nearly 2 hours now. Doesn't count the stops. So my bike coach will hopefully be quite happy with what I've done here. This is such easy cycling. Oh, easy, easy, easy. After you go under the A1M, there's a bit of a tiny little mini hike uphill to a housing estate at the beginning of Wetherby. Which has been built over where the old railway line would have been. So just watch out here that watch out for anything coming right and left. It's a farm track. Oh my god, look at all these dogs. Hello. Hi. It's okay. Hello, little dog. Hello. Well-behaved dogs. More dogs. Thank you. That's the speed that farm dog was going when he grabbed hold of my shin in Devon. Right, we've got Wetherby race course over there on the right. The tunnel under the A1M coming up. If you do this, take your gears down because there's a little climb immediately after. Check my gears. A lot of bags of dog poo. I hope they're going to pick them up. Then we get this little climb here. Up we go. Woo. So the railway would probably be continuing over there, or it might have gone straight up here, I don't know. There was another railway station in Wetherby, the first railway station, but they moved it to where I started this ride. I think because it needed to be near that junction. More convenient. At the junction we turn right. The railway would have gone along there. And at the T junction here we turn left. And the railway would have crossed this road here. That's the old part of the old bridge. We're not going to go back on the rail path, we're going to go back via road, which is what I normally do. So we turn left at this junction. This is the road we went out on that went past Oldie. Oh, I smell fish and chips. We turn, oh there's a fish and chip shop, smells gorgeous. We turn right at the mini roundabout. It's kind. Cinema, cute little cinema here, and it is open there with a little cafe, and we turn right the junction. It's a bit of an awkward junction. And then we turn left at the mini roundabout here. On our left we have the River Wharf, and there has been a railway bridge across it. There's a footbridge down there, which is probably, I'll just say it's probably the same site. And we turn right up here back into the station car park. One place I've never investigated is down here, so no better time than the present. I'm not in a hurry. Bit of a steep path. So I'm guessing that that footbridge ahead may be where the railway used to cross the river. This is the River Wharf. I don't think we'll go right down to it. Quite pleasant, isn't it? Right, we turn right here, back up to the station. The old station. And my Garmin tells me it's taken 2 hours 11 minutes. Moving. Here we are. Right, we're back, and thank you for watching.